Welcome to the Verdin Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. Hope everybody's having a good one. It's Wednesday. Got a couple of things we're going to break down. The CSC, College Sports Commission investigation into LSU. LSU's response, what it means. We'll dive into the weeds on that one. Giants name their offensive coordinator, Charlie Weiss, is safe for now, at least. Lane Kiffin hustling in the portal as per usual. College football has released a schedule, if you will, for next playoff season and the one after that. We'll break that one down. Some top names have reacted to it. And last but not least, Wednesday, today, Lane Kiffin finally speaks with the media for the first time since his introductory press conference. Today at 2 o'clock, we'll be pulling up to the football ops to hear Coach Kiffin break down the portal class, the efforts that went into it. So stay tuned for that. We'll do a brief reaction after it, and I'll have clips and stuff on socials. So as per usual, follow us wherever you get your news. We got all the links in the description below: Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, you name it. We're there. Go find us. Let's dive right into the water right now. So this is the statement that was officially released by LSU Deputy A.D. Zach Greenwell. This is the statement that they made in response to the investigation by the CSC for an unreported NIL deal. The statement reads, "We've been in regular communication with the College Sports Commission since the organization's formation and appreciate their ongoing collaboration and guidance. We anticipate this inquiry will be resolved shortly. We will not comment further on this matters." Let's put a little PS here before we even unravel all of this. LSU was not the only school contacted here. There were multiple schools contacted. The way that the CSC works, first I'll explain what it is, what the College Sports Commission even is, because a lot of people are like, oh, we need a commissioner, we need a governing body, we need somebody that's actually going to enforce rules. This is a way to kind of do that solely on the financial aspect, though. They're not going to talk about rules. They're not going to talk about scheduling. Those things the NCAA will still handle. But the CSC will look at rev share, NIL contracts, just to make sure that they are, they're looking for two things, really. The first is that they're within a reasonable pay range. Like, you're not giving an offensive lineman $15 million. Like, you want to be able to actually have it be within the average at that position. Then, actually, the second thing they're looking for is it a valuable, or at least a valid purpose that you're using this business proposition for. They're not just paying you to pay you. You're actually doing something for them. They're actually getting something out of it. And it's every deal over $600. Like I said, multiple programs got contacted about this. And as far as I've gathered from it, first, the more interesting thing of it all, it had nothing to do with football. If you would ask a random college football fan or just college sports fan in general, hey, LSU's getting investigated by the CSC for their NIL efforts, everyone's going to immediately jump to the conclusion that it's Lane Kiffin building that number one portal class, giving money hand over fist and getting damn near every top prospect in their respective positions. That was the initial assumption. And then the Athletic releases an article talking about it. They release an article with damn picture of a football helmet. They paywall the article so you can't even go in and read it. It was just really, really misconstrued, if you will. It put readers or viewers in a situation where they are piecing together information. Naturally, LSU has to come out and address it because of the way that it kind of grew legs. But now you know who they are. Back to the situation. So the CSC contacted LSU's athletic director, Verdin, about a deal that was not passed through the clearinghouse. The thing I explained to you, the NIL Go online portal. There was a specific athlete that had a deal that did not get cleared through there. Wasn't a football player. It wasn't a situation where it was a fault of an athletic department and the entire department now needs to be audited and cleared and everybody's got to get training or whatever the case may be. It was just a simple mistake. And with the way the CSC looks through this, if you hit over that 75% mark of your rev share budget, they come and look. There's a couple of metrics that they're going to use to identify potential targets to investigate. But for the majority of their recent efforts, it's been once you've reached that threshold, the 3/4 mark of your 21 million rev share from your athletic department budget, which puts you spending roughly 14 to 18 million. And you've got some attention on you, which naturally almost every school does in today's day and age, in my opinion. I feel like just to get especially with every single sport too, just to get competitive. I mean, football, you're gonna have to spend damn near that much. Both basketball teams, you might be able to get away with 5 to 7 million. Baseball teams, same thing. But when you add it all up and zoom out, before you know it, you're creeping up on that mark. So this is an effort to try to keep things as fair as possible, to keep everybody within the parameters that they're supposedly putting. But LSU statement states that the deal has been submitted. Now the deal has been cleared. They confirmed it was not football, and no disciplinary actions will be taken. That's the biggest update from this since the statement, is that the CSC reviewed this deal. They went through the details, and they found that there was no wrongdoing, and LSU will not be punished for this situation. Now, in terms of you having to release a statement and you having to clear the air, I will go out on a limb and say it stems to the article with The Athletic and just the overall narrative that was tried to be painted in that situation. You put in the cover photo of the article of LSU as LSU football helmets. You're not using the campus. You're not using Mike the Tiger. You're not using anything. You could have did a combined photo of 3 different sports: basketball, football, baseball. You could have did a variety of things. But what did you do? You used a photo of probably one of the most famous images or likenesses on a helmet in sports. Now, I get it. It's the offseason, man. It's slow. It's slow. You need some clicks. But a little bit misconstrued. And it's, at the same time, like I'm about to dive into the offensive coordinator drama, and I'm going to have pretty much the same point for that one as well. Welcome to being at the top of college football, because this is what's going to happen when you're at the top, when you're at the forefront, when your name is constantly being discussed. There's going to be some nitpicky things like this. This is a part of it. You put together a few number 1 portal classes, and all of a sudden, CSC's knocking at your door because you're creeping past that ref share mark. So it makes sense for them to get a little interested here, but it is a very, very good sign that LSU has gotten everything approved, gotten everything put away, and there will be no actions taken going further. So LSU's in the clear, if you will. That's our update on that. Damon, good morning, my guy. Everybody wish Damon luck on his interview today, man. Damon got a job interview. Damon, come on, bro. Let's go. Lock in, Damon. You got to lock in. You better be reviewing some questions, dude. Tell me about yourself, Damon. Drop that in the chat. I want to hear your response to that. Got to make sure that you're on your P's and Q's, bro. Got to test you. All right. Matt Nagy. He is the Giants offensive coordinator. A lot of people are like, why the hell are you telling me who the Giants just hired as their play caller? Well, there was a bit of a decision that had to be made with Mr. Charlie Weis. Again, he already made the decision with Philadelphia. Now he had to make the decision one more time because the Big Apple, his former quarterback in college, Jackson Dart, they were pushing for him. And at first, we reported this on Monday, and we were like, I don't know if there's any smoke here. Oh, there was smoke. There was fire. There was a decision. And he ultimately stayed at LSU. So we'll dive into it. We'll unpack. Giants, Matt Nagy, offensive coordinator search concluded. So he is a former Chiefs offensive coordinator. He was the head coach of the Bears 2018 to 2021. Now, in terms of why Charlie was considered, there's 2 reasons. The first one we already addressed. Jackson Dart gave him the seal of approval. That was his former quarterback. They spent 3 years together. He unlocked damn near every single key or every single whatever. He just unlocked the potential in Jackson Dart that not a lot of people initially thought he had. Now he has taken over one of the better quarterbacks in last draft's class, and he's the Giants franchise corner piece. So with them getting Harbaugh, they tried to turn the corner and just build a system where he would ultimately be comfortable. Jameis Winston came out and doubled down as well and said, hey, if we're going to pick a play call, I would rather us pick the one that makes our quarterback more comfortable. If Jackson Dart knows Charlie, if they know each other, if they've worked together, if they've already had success, and if that will help the team, yeah, I'm game. That's pretty much what Jameis Winston said. Now, Giants really wanted him. Dart really wanted him, especially when you're the top player, top opinion, the top perspective that they're going to listen to in that regard. They took it into consideration. New York wanted to make it happen. They just couldn't convince Charlie to up and leave Baton Rouge. Now, for the second segment in a row, I'm going to make the take. This is how it feels to be back at the top of college football. You're a huge brand with a lot of expectations, and a lot of people are thinking might not be the year, but it could be a very good year where you finally get past that college football playoff demon that you've been running from, trying to finally get back into it. You could address that, if you will. You had Tulane getting to the expanded playoff before you did. LSU is a little late bloomer, if you will. So this is the season that everybody kind of thinks it's going to happen, Charlie included. And if you want to know like where the value has come, so like the college football playoff run, I think, is a very big benefiting factor in it. Obviously, they made a very, very big push. Pete Golding even made a comment. We played it on the show. Made a comment about it, like, oh, well, he's calling the plays for the playoffs, and now this is his offense. You get to see this is his play calling as it's been all year. He's not under Kiffin's shadow, like pretty much just saying this is Charlie's moment to prove himself. And when you capitalize on that moment and get to the semis, even though Miami beats you in a close one, just getting that far with all the distractions that you had in your environment, with the coaches going back and forth, with Lane Kiffin leaving, with all the question marks on players and eligibility and if they're going to portal or not, they handled it very well. And his stock completely went up. I'll go down, and I'll even say, though, it's true to an extent that Charlie using Lane's offense and being under Lane is like kind of not a distracting factor, but like Lane will get a lot of the credit in that. But also, I kind of think Lane Kiffin is entering this transitional period where like he will become the next top name, if you will, the next Lane Kiffin. Because as of right now, when you look at 3 of the 4 coaches, or you got Dabo, you got Kirby, you got Kurt, and then you got Ryan. Yeah, 3 of the 4 coaches that won a natty. You already got half of them under a Saban tree. And I think Kiffin can eventually get to that point. And I think you're already kind of seeing him get into it, because Pete Golding obviously gets the head coaching job. Lebby obviously gets a head coaching job. Now Charlie Weiss isn't after a head coaching job. I think he could get a smaller one, but he's getting an offensive coordinator job in the NFL potentially already, just 2 of them back-to-back trying to pull him. It goes to show, one, what people think of who Lane hires and the people that he has in his building. A lot of respect around it, a lot of respect around the system. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I feel like this is just at the top of your game. You're going to have a lot of people try to bite a little piece off of your process to try to match your success. And I think LSU can continuously see this happen on both sides of the ball. Charlie, Blake Baker with the top defense. It won't be a 2 to 3 year era with all these coordinators under Kiffin. I'll say that. I'd be surprised if it lasted more than 1 more year. But back to the LSU point, I do think this shows exactly how serious of a job opportunity it is. When you just can't pass it up. You can't pass LSU up. You have to see it through. You have to stay there. You have to at least try it out. And in regards to you not being able to pass it up, it's exactly why Lane Kiffin was in the situation he was in, where the confusion really started in the college football playoff. He doesn't know what he wants to do. He wants to run through the natty, but he wants to go to LSU. He wants a chance to go to the playoffs, but he doesn't want to pass up on the opportunity at coaching what could be the best job in the nation, at least according to Nick Saban. So naturally, he ends his playoff run. He ends his chance at getting a national championship, which he obviously got damn close to, with Ole Miss getting into the Final Four without him. So with him, it could have been a completely different situation. Maybe they do get to the national championship. That's neither here nor there, though. The fact of the matter is he decided to go to LSU because it was that big of an opportunity. And now Charlie has declined back-to-back NFL job opportunities because of how big the LSU one is. And I will say one more time, you're probably sick of me saying it, you got to think. So the Giants one, yeah, that's a personal tie. You got Jackson Dart. They do have weapons. They got Cameron Scatterbo. They got Malik Neighbors. They got Slayton. They got pieces that even Jalen Hyatt. You got a lot of names. The Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champions. The Eagles have Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert. They just won the Super Bowl last year, and he said no. You got one of the best jobs in the country if you are working here at LSU. Everybody on the staff is A1, dog. And everybody's locked in, too, for one common goal, and it's to get to that playoff and inevitably raise that trophy. So Charlie Weiss staying in Baton Rouge, decline the Giants. That saga is over. So now you can lock in with your staff that you got for this year. At least so you hope. It's been an interesting run for LSU during this Lane Kiffin period. I mean, you go from wondering who your coach is going to be to honestly getting the best coach you could have got in college. And it's come with a couple of interesting things. It's come with some hate, if you will, from fans, from Ole Miss fans. It's come with some drama. It's come with a lot of posts on social media. Obviously, you've seen and been active. One of the posts recently over the weekend found a little bit interesting, if you will. Let's dig a little deeper here. Lane Kiffin, courtside at the Houston Rockets game with Blake Fertitta, son of Tillman Fertitta, the owner of the Rockets, the owner of the Golden Nugget, Landry's Restaurant, Saltgrass, Papados, all that good stuff. Pretty much damn near everything in Houston our guy Fertitta owns. So in this photo, why I find this so interesting, Blake is an LSU alum. Shout out, forever LSU. Go Tigers. Come on, man. He is an LSU alum. And his father has a little bit of pocket change to throw around, if you will. So Lane Kiffin, in my opinion, is not only one of the smartest people in terms of just branding. Everything he says, I think, has some sort of substance or meaning on social media, at least. So this right here is definitely, I would say, a little bit more than meets the eye. I could imagine this is a little bit of wheeling and dealing to try to get a little bit of influence, a little bit of money. If your son graduates from that school, from LSU, loves football, I'm sure you want LSU to be a little competitive. I'm sure you want to root for the purple and gold in December and it not be the Texas Bowl for the 5th time in 100,000 years. I'm going to compare this to the Larry Ellison situation. And everybody's about, what the hell are you talking about? Just bear with me. Larry Ellison cuts a check for Bryce Underwood to Michigan for Lord knows how many millions of dollars simply because his wife went to Michigan and loves Michigan football. Larry didn't go to Michigan. If you look, Larry went to the University of Chicago. And in this instance, Fertitta didn't go to LSU. Tillman went to the University of Houston and Texas Tech. So if Blake, I don't know, asked the right way to his father, please help out LSU, Pops. Come on, I'm sure he's helping out Texas Tech. They had a nice little run this year in NIL. If you can ask the right way, get a little favor from Pops, LSU can have one of the biggest donors in the South, quite frankly. This is how you can compete with a Texas or a Texas A&M or whatever the hell, whatever big NIL corporation you or collective you want to compare LSU to. This is how you compete with them. We ain't just talking about Todd Graves. We ain't just talking about Gordon McKernan. We're not just talking about all these great pieces, Brandon Landry. We're talking about a man that owns the NBA team, bro. Straight up. Not even just the NBA team. Almost every casino in Louisiana. And just almost the Golden Nugget, I think, is one of the biggest brands, casino brands in the South. Then you got the restaurants, then you got this, and you got that. There's a huge, huge, huge opportunity for all of those businesses to be able to give NIL deals to people, have them go through the third-party collective, get approved, then naturally you get another booster. NIL is constantly evolving. Like, you're going to have to do things like this. You're going to have to do things about this. It's my opinion on it. Now, sometimes it is easier to get this done by getting Blake to ask comparatively to getting Lane to ask. Because if Lane goes ask Tillman, it could be a different situation than a son asking Tillman. That's just my opinion. So if you get the son's supportive and the son's in his ear, and there you go. You got one of the biggest pockets in South. I can't lie to you. Now, I know it sounds crazy, but hey, you just gotta work. Lane Kiffin's working, bro. He's staying up late, he's scouting, he's recruiting, he's texting, he's tweeting, he's doing all that good stuff, but he's also doing this. He's doing the politicking too. Sitting courtside watching a little easy money sniper. KD Trey 5. Come on, man. It don't get better than that. NIL's evolving, bro. It's always constantly evolving. Man, even yesterday, you had the men's basketball team have Trace Young give them like a little speech on NIL rights and exclusivity and like terminating deals and just having rights to the content that you're submitting. Like this is the phase that you're in. It's not just about getting money. It's not just about getting your athletes money. It's about teaching them what to do with the money. And it's about helping boost them, get them into a situation where they're learning. And you're teaching them. You're teaching them about branding, about marketing, about saving, preparing for life after ball, whatever the case may be. That is the full circle beast that you're competing with here at LSU. And I know other top programs have it. But this is how you stay in. Educate them. Don't just throw the money at them. Put them in a situation where you can set them up for life. I can't lie. Or at least just protect them so the brands, the agents, people like that don't go after them. Take advantage of them, if you will. All right, let's break this down right here. I got an interesting thing I want to pop up for you. People are reacting to it. Lane Kiffin reposted this tweet from Josh Pate, future college football commissioner. How insane is the 2026 college football calendar? On his tweet specifically, he says Saturday, November 14th, week 11 is the mathematical midpoint. The halfway mark of the season comes about a week and a half before Thanksgiving, which is very interesting. If you look at the middle of week 1 and the middle of the CFB title, it has now moved back to this point. According to the college football playoff, Wednesday, December 30th will be the Fiesta Bowl. Friday, January 1st will be the Cotton Bowl. Semis will be 14th, 15th. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So this puts the national championship like I don't even know. I would say almost a damn month after the first game, or at least the first college football playoff game. You're going to have damn near a month of playoffs. Good Lord. This ain't basketball, guys. This ain't March Madness. You can't just have a month of football without having a lot of shit change. Momentum, injuries obviously being the biggest thing. There's going to be some people that benefit from that, but it's mainly going to be like TV and broadcast companies. I ain't going to lie. Like ESPN, they love adding a game to the college football playoff schedule because that's more money. That's millions of views. Millions. Anything college football related will be one of the most talked about things, sought after things. So adding a playoff game or expanding the playoffs or stretching the time frame that the playoffs are played through benefits from a financial standpoint. Now, from a player standpoint, from a competitive standpoint, I think it gets a little more confusion because Lane Kiffin brought up this. He made a tweet about it as well. He retweeted this, but he also spoke out about it. He was saying that the first playoff game, 4 weeks from the Natty, 2-week break, yada, yada, yada. He's saying that they almost have a month in between the games all in all. He points it out, saying it's a little ridiculous. As I said about a minute ago, I think it changes momentum. If you got to wait a month between the first game and the national title game, a lot can happen from that first day to that 31st day. A lot of things can change. A lot of moves can be made, for better or worse. Now, I'll be devil's advocate. Yeah, you can have people rest. You can have people recover. And you can have people who potentially weren't able to play get healed, suit up, get out there on the gridiron. So, I mean, it's just two ways you could see it. People aren't really happy with it. Most people are saying it makes the season worse. A lot of people even brought up the thought process of why don't you do the national championship before the year's up, or do it on New Year's Eve, because not really much is going on New Year's Eve besides your Fiesta Bowl and the Cotton Bowl. So throw your natty right there, and then have before the calendar year's up a champion be cleared in this regard. Now, I want to know how this changes the transfer portal window, because you got one portal window ranging from like a 2-week span. Do they move it back? Are people just going to have to do like what Indiana and Miami did? And if they're in the natty, continue to recruit during that week leading up to the national title game? There's going to be a lot of moving parts here. A lot of interesting moving parts. Now, here's another thing, though. You're definitely not going to make everybody happy in this situation. So naturally, you're going to have a lot of people pissed off regardless. But even from a college football expansion point, I'll touch on that one real quick. You got to leave the damn college football playoffs alone. You have to leave them alone. 12 is the max. If we keep talking about, should we add 16? Should we add 4 more? You're going to put yourself in a bind where it's watered down. You're not finding 16 quality playoff teams. I'm sorry. Let me do quick math real quick. That means that out of the top 25, the AP 25 poll, that almost everybody has a problem with, myself included, 64% of the top 25 would be in the damn playoffs. You got over half of the field in the playoffs. No. Simply put, this year, Tulane makes it. James Madison makes it. And I think they deserve to make it. I'm not even going to be the one that says Tulane shouldn't have been in. They got dog walk. No, I think they had an opportunity, and they should have been able to have an opportunity. Tulane did everything that they needed to do to get in that. James Madison as well. That's the schedule they're given. They completed it. They did what they had to do. I say reward them. What I don't say is open up more spots so people like Notre Dame can get it and other people get it, and you just keep bringing it wider and wider. Back to the conversation, like I said, because the more games, it benefits at least the network side of it, not the player side of it. At first glance, it looks like the teams that are on the outside looking in, left out, all this good stuff, they're going to be able to have an extra spot. I don't think it happens like that. I think if you get 16 teams, now there's even more of an argument for why teams shouldn't have been left out. It just gets more and more confusing, way more confusing. 12, I think, is the max that you can have, in my humble opinion. If you have more teams, yeah, you make more money. You got to balance it with just the game being competitive. You can't water down the playoffs, because then in that regard, it's going to have way more effects. Because sure, in theory, having a few extra games, it might seem like a good idea, but let's take the NBA, for example. They got an 82-game season. They obviously got playoffs. They got a lot of stuff, a lot of games, a lot of action. You see people take load management. You see people take games off. You see people try to not have the busy schedule catch up to them, at least from their body health standpoint. And that leads to a lot of questions. Leads to disgruntled players, leads to more injured players. And like I said, it leads to players sitting out. So my guess would be, if you've got to prepare for a month of football, those last 2 games, your rivalry week, where it's the Egg Bowl or the Iron Bowl or all these different classic rivalries, you're going to have people sitting out. The Michigan and Ohio State game, you're going to have people sitting out preparing for the playoffs, because they've got to play 4 or 5 games or whatever the case may be, and they've got all of these competitions to be able to look forward to. So why take the regular season serious if you already clinched the playoff, when those games are going to mean more because you got more to prepare for? That's just my take on it. And I know a lot of people aren't going to care about it. Like, oh, whatever, just give me playoff games. All right. The same people that are complaining that college football's changed and the season's not getting taken as serious, all this good stuff, snowball effect right here. It'll continuously get worse and worse and worse. All right, I'm hopping out of here. Remember, 2 o'clock, Lane Kiffin takes the podium at Football Ops. He will be giving an update on all things LSU football. We will record it. I'll upload the Lane Kiffin presser. We'll obviously have clips uploaded on socials, but I'll do a reaction as well. I'll break down his comments, my thoughts on them. So stay tuned for that. It'll be around 3 o'clock today. This has been the Verdin Verdict. I'm your guy, Jacob Verdin. Please hit that thumbs up on your way out and wish my guy Damon some luck on his job interview. Damon, come on, man. You about to kill that dude. Appreciate everybody. Y'all have a good rest of your day. See you Friday at 9 a.m.